If you go off-roading in South Africa, you know that the Ford Raptor is the best option to go for if you want to go off-roading. And you also know in America, it is also the same thing. If you want to go off-roading in the sandy beaches of Colorado or wherever, the Raptor is also the best option. But have you ever thought which one is the best between the SA Ford Raptor and also the American version Ford Raptor? Yes, today I'll be putting them head to head against each other. This is South Africa versus the Americans. Yes, I'm Junior and you're watching Junior on Cars. Let's jump into the video and let's start off with the price tag of the SA4 Raptor. Well, the SA4 Raptor will cost you around 920,000 rand. That is with all the bells and whistles on it. I don't know what makes it so expensive, unfortunately, but I really don't know. It is the same price as the upcoming Ford Ranger, which let's not jump into. Let's leave that and let's get into straight into the car. Well, what do you get for 920,000 rand in performance wise? Well, you get a bi-turbo 3.2 liter which produces around 157 kilowatts and 500 newton meters of torque, 0 to 60 under 7.9 seconds, and flat out you can do 111 miles per hour. Well, the gearbox hasn't changed. It is still similar to the upcoming 2023 Ford Raptor, which is a 10-speed automatic. And no, you don't get a manual version, you only get an automatic. Well, the automatic, you do get low range mode and all of that, and you can also switch to a 4-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive. It's up to the driver how you drive it. It is up to you. I really think it's better if you keep it in 4-wheel drive because you never know what happens. Well, the Ford Raptor, honestly speaking, is a 10-speed automatic, and you can switch it. You can actually have an option if you want to use the pedal shift, or you can just put it into automatic and then the gears will just sort it out for you. So yes, you do get pedal shift, but honestly speaking, I think it's better if you're off terrain to just put it into automatic, that the gears can change itself and give you more of an experience of roading. Well, let's leave that and let's jump into the inside of the car. Well, actually, before we jump into the inside of the car, let's stay outside and let's look at the exterior of the car. Well, the exterior of the SUV, well, not actually a SUV in South Africa, it's called the bakkie. Well, the bakkie of the Ford Raptor, it looks, honestly speaking, it looks okay. It looks crazy. I mean, the edges and everything, it does look rugged, it does look off-roading, it does look mean. It is absolutely cool with those frowny fog lights and those LED daylight lights. So it does look absolutely cool. Some do modify it and do make it look ridiculous, but I think standard version, it does look nice. In the blue version or the red, it is up to you, honestly speaking. Well, the tires do look very chunky. Literally, they look chunky because they're chunky off-roading tires. Well, my biggest question for me is that since they're chunky tires, I mean, you're going to be off-roading all the time, but I do think that Ford have thought of, I mean, if you're going on the road, I mean, you still should have comfortability, even though you're gonna have Fox springs in it to give you much of jumping clearance and all of that nonsense which hooligans do. Well, honestly speaking, I do think it does give you good comfortability, because even with those chunky tires, I don't think it will damage the ride, improve the ride difference for the people who want to use it as a day-to-day car. Well, let's leave the exterior, let's jump into the interior now, which makes me very exciting. Well, let's jump into the instrumental panel. Well, the instrumental panel is not really interesting. It's kind of boring because it's only analog and shows the rev counter and only the small thing there that shows the Ford badge and all of those boring stuff. Well, the steering wheel is leather. It does give you a nice feeling, does feel a little bit of expensive and all of that. Well, there is chip materials in the car, you know, as it goes. Well, the infotainment system is kind of boring. The current version is kind of boring because it's really small, honestly speaking. Even if you choose this one, the top of the range version, it still has a small instrumental panel and it's kind of boring and very realistic. Well, if you think that is the only option, you can actually get, like I said, the new upcoming 2023 version has it's faster, it is all of those stuff that you need for the car. Well, like I said, the infotainment system in this is kind of boring, but the upcoming one does have a 23-inch portrait layout infotainment system, so it is bigger, improved, it is better, it's better now than the current version in the inside. Well, the instrumental panel, the dashboard, everything about it is just better, honestly speaking, the upcoming version. But let's leave that right now and let's look at the seats. Well, honestly speaking, you'll be going off-roading, you'll be doing a lot of ridiculous stuff and hooliganism. Well, do you really think the seats are bad? Well, they're not really bad, let me tell you, before you even think of making them look shameless. Well, they're not really bad. They do have Alcantara and leather on it, so obviously they're gonna be forethought of comfortability because many people will be jumping and all of that nonsense, and some do use it as a day-to-day car, so day-to-day bakkie, so obviously the comfortability should be there. So let's leave that, and let me tell you which is the most important part of the car, which is the height and the ground clearance in civil terms. Well, the ground clearance of the current Ford Raptor is around 285 millimeters, so it is better. So it means if you want to go, it is very high, literally it is very high, so you can go wherever you want. And the water weighting of it is astonishingly around 850 millimeters, so that is extremely high. So it means you can go into a river or whatever you want to do with it, just don't damage it. It looks very, very, very good. Well, let's see if the American version can do better than our South African version. Well, let's jump into the American F150 Raptor. Yes, it's called the F150 Raptor, not like ours, which is only Ford Raptor. Well, there is F150, but let's leave that and let's jump into the price tag. Well, the price tag of the F150 Raptor is around $78,000. So it's not really expensive compared to ours, which is ridiculously expensive. Well, let's see what $78,000 gets you. Well, it gets you a twin turbocharged V6 3.5 liter. Well, it's the same as ours. It is not. It is also a bi-turbo, but it is a twin turbo, honestly speaking, and it is a V6, and it has 2 more cylinders than ours, so it really doesn't matter. Well, the horsepower is around 450 brake horsepower and 510 newton-meters of torque, which is much more powerful than ours, literally. And the 0 to 60 is much more powerful than ours, faster than ours in simple terms. 5.4 seconds, and top speed is around 107 miles per hour. Top speed slow, ours is higher, so it really doesn't make difference. Well, our Ford Raptor, like I said, has a 10-speed automatic. Well, the F150 Raptor also has the same 10-speed automatic with pedal shift, so it doesn't make really any difference. Well, if you only think the F150 Raptor is the only version, well, you're better wrong. Well, there is also another version which is called the upcoming Raptor R. Yes, if you're American, you'll know the Raptor R uses a supercharged 5.2 liter V8 from a Predator engine, which comes from a GT500 Mustang Shelby in simple terms. But it is quite expensive. If you're American, you do know that one, because it is a Ford. It is a supercharged V8. Well, it'll cost you around $109,000. It's quite expensive than the standard F150 Raptor, which has a V6 bi-turbo in simple terms, 3.5 liter. But that doesn't matter. Well, let's check the body, well, the exterior of it in simple terms. Well, the exterior of the F150 Raptor does look much more better than ours. Well, ours does look good, but it is a bit of a cheaper version of the Minecraft. Well, ours does look, like I said, a cheaper version of the Minecraft, and the F150 Raptor American version does look absolutely rugged and is meant for off-roading. It does look absolutely off-roading styled. The exterior, everything looks about it. Well, unfortunately, the interior is the same as ours. It is a bit crap, the infotainment system and the instrumental panel, but they do also have Alcantara seats and a bit of a leather on the steering wheel and some touchy bits where it's very cheap plastic. Well, besides that, like ours, you also can choose if you want to go to, 4-wheel drive, or you can do it 2-wheel drive. It is really up to you how you put it. But honestly speaking, I'm gonna go back to the exterior. I mean, the exterior of the F150 Raptor, my god, hands up to this one, because it looks much more better than ours. Yes, I do know ours does look a bit, how can I put it, a bit cheaper and much more uselesser, but theirs is much more meaner, cooler, bigger lights, bigger everything, because it's Americans. Americans have more fat people anyways, and they have all of the stuff that make it look very, very rugged and very, very cool in simple terms. And it does have a good exhaust system, not like ours that sounds more like a diesel, but theirs have good exhaust system. Like, it sounds absolutely mean. It gives out the natural aspirated of the V6 3.5 liter. So if you hate me for this, I really don't know why would you hate me for this, because our South African version is good, but the Americans always do better in everything. They do better in basketball, sports, burgers, and hot dogs, like I said. So yeah, if you like this video, please give it a like. If you want to watch more videos of mine, you know what to do. Hop onto the main channel and go and watch more videos of mine. And if you want to learn more about our channel, hop onto our Instagram page, which is Junior on Cars, and Twitter, the same story. And thank you for everybody who watches my video. I really appreciate it. And more content coming soon. So bye.